Hey team, a very good morning, it's Fabio and we're going to be checking in here on EURUSD, the major dollar pairs and of course gold. And starting with EURUSD, let's see if we can get some more short this week as EURUSD is still clearly in a bearish trend. EURUSD has been forming lower lows, so as here, lower high, lower low, potential lower high, and we're looking now for a potential new lower low to be established. So overall still favoring further downside here on EURUSD following the overall immediate trend that we have here on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if I'm very honest, the overall price action is still slightly unclear in the sense that we don't have very clear liquidity points within the overall impulse in towards the downside right over here. Personally, I'm mainly focusing on the 1-hour time frame for now, as on the 1-hour time frame we do have a nice area of supply here. We have the monthly open, we have the internal little bump in the road here, so I'll be waiting to see how the market reacts in this region. As long as this high here is protected, I'll be looking for a further short position in towards the downside. Preferably we would then see a 1-hour fractal structure shift, and from there we could today in towards this week see a further downside push. Now, if I'm very honest, these are lower probability plays as the overall market structure here on EURUSD is still simply not said aligning with what I would want to see. Personally, I would still love for this internal high here to get taken out, as this here was the overall impulsive phase and there was a major bump in the road which still has not been taken out. So often what I have seen happening is still that the market, yes, pushes down, pull back, and we expect a new lower low to be formed, but I've also seen it come back up, take out this high, and then, for example, head back down in towards the lows. But that is only if we start breaking the highs here and momentum comes into the market, then we could still see some further upside, because I'm not a fan of this price action that we had over here. I think personally, or I see personally, that if we do not, let's say, hold this supply zone on the monthly open and we start pushing up higher again, that we could take out all of these descending highs and just push in towards this internal liquidity high, as here there's no real liquidity to cause the next big reversal in towards the downside. So I'm looking for either a short here on the immediate time frame, or if we break the monthly open and the high over here, then I'll just look for a higher retracement, take out this high, and then, for example, look for a short. And who knows, maybe I'll take a short-term long position once that high gets broken. On the daily time frame, not much has changed. The daily time frame still remains bullish, with the swing low being here, swing high being here. However, we can clearly see that the overall reaccumulation phase is still going on, because if you look at the swing structure, and with swing structure here on the daily time frame, I mean push up, pull back, push up. Now here, we're still in the pullback. And when is the pullback phase over? It's over when the internal trend shifts. However, we can clearly see that the internal trend here, which is this pullback phase, is still very, very bearish. And there's no sign yet of us breaking in towards the upside. Now remember, last week what I said is that if we can break this high over here, and we can break this overall impulsive phase in towards the downside, so this impulse down, then we can look for the long. But as you can see, the overall downtrend, simply said, just continues, and we never are able to break that free monthly open. So personally, real longs will only really come again once the highs get broken, the free monthly open, retest, and then this is the phase that you want to be buying in. Until then, focus really remains on shorts from either the monthly open at the moment with that 1-hour price action that I just showed you, or once we take out this internal high over here. So that is it for now. I must also say EURUSD is becoming relatively consolidative, relatively stuck, but there are still opportunities to be taken, and we'll be focusing on the immediate price action today. Let's see how we react to this supply zone on the monthly open. If we just break through it, then we just leave it and we let it push up higher. And then from the higher levels, we'll be looking for potential short. Going into the dollar index, the dollar index has still gotten potential to push up higher. At the moment, what's happened is that we've taken out the daily high. So the daily high here got liquidated. As you can look here to the left, we liquidated that high straight away. We start to slow down. So the dollar index is currently consolidating. Overall, still, it makes sense to head up higher, as we're still in the impulsive phase. So you can see that the overall price action and the overall movements have been replicated time and time again. So we have the impulsive phase, pullback, impulsive phase, pullback, and now again we had the impulsive phase, which we were waiting for. We broke the overall supply zone that we had over here, and once that broke, we had a lot more momentum in towards the highs. So overall, I'm just looking still for some continuation, and this could be a future bump in the road. So for example here, let's say the dollar index decides to continue pushing up higher, then this would be a future bump in the road that we can then get taken out and then again continue up higher from. The overall target for the dollar index remains this high over here of around 102, and as long as the 4-hour/daily order flow here, so this bullish market structure, remains in control, and we do not break the overall low here of 98,967, I will still only be looking for further upside here on the dollar index. So that's the dollar index for you. Moving on into GBPUSD. GBPUSD in itself still very, very slow. Overall makes more sense just to look for some more downside continuation plays. I'm not looking for any longs on this as the pound remains weak. This week is a massive week for the pound in regards to budget decisions, so keep an eye on that. I'll be dropping an update on that inside Discord. But yeah, a very nice supply zone as it liquidated this high over here, and boom, and then a stronger pushing towards the downside, meaning that we're currently in a strong area of supply together with the monthly open. So I'll be looking at favoring further downside / shorts here on GBPUSD this week. Going into AUDUSD, AUDUSD has liquidated the overall lows which we highlighted last week and pretty much reacted to it. Overall, AUDUSD is just not a pair that I'm really trading at the moment. I mentioned this last week as well. On the higher time frame, it's relatively consolidative, relatively stuck within this overall, let's say, box. I'm still seeing some more downside on this in the short term. Let's see what we can do. The 4-hour time frame for now has been breaking structure now over here, and it seems to want to break structure again over here, or it has broken structure. So for now, for me, AUDUSD has gotten on the 4-hour time frame a swing high here and a swing low here. So any potential kind of like pullbacks back in towards the highs, taking out some liquidity could facilitate another short position in towards the downside. Though again, I must say, AUDUSD just not very, very clean at the moment. What is clean and more clean is then NZDUSD. NZDUSD has been having the cleanest order flow in quite some time. At the moment, I'm looking for the internal high here to get liquidated. You can see the arrow still aligned. This here is your swing high, the blue dotted line, and this here is the swing low. So I'm simply waiting for an internal liquidity high, so this high over here, to get taken out, the 4-hour change of character to happen, and then I'll be looking for a short, probably with a stop loss here above the highs. Going into USDCAD, still in USDCAD longs, which I highlighted last week. We also shared a skill in with the private group, so we can see here that we've been following the overall market structure to perfection, 0.5 fib. And yeah, for now, I'm just waiting for reaccumulation to happen. We can see an impulsive phase in towards the highs, and now all we're waiting for is, again, liquidation of a low, and then we'll have a potential skill in on our hands. But yeah, we need to see a pullback happen before we can skill in. And other than that, the overall longs are still running very nicely, with the main position here being up around 1.6%. I told you guys back at the beginning of the month, or on the 10th, that I took a long here, this long here from the monthly open level, and obviously these liquidity lows within the overall impulse, those are then the lows that I'm looking to skill in on. I've also said that USDCAD has been extremely bullish, so yeah, just waiting for more and more upside this week as well. So yeah, looking for longs still, and that's the only thing that I'm really looking at. If reaccumulation happens, we can look for more upside. USDCAD remains bullish. Then we have USDCHF. So USDCHF has been pushing up higher. This is a pair that I'm not really trading. My focus remains then on USDCAD as it's a lot more clear. USDCHF is, for me, just in a range at the moment. It's currently at the top of the range, so shorts make more sense. If you look at this, and then you change this to the range trading tool, where I focus on the 75 and the 25% level, you can see the 25% fib level is support, 75% level is resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if USDCHF does sell off in the near future within the range that it's currently operating in. Then we have USDJPY, so USD against the Japanese yen. USD yen has pushed in towards the yearly open. Yearly open always provides us with a reaction. Now, overall, USD yen remains very, very bullish, so I'm not going to try and call the top. If we do see another drive down lower early this week in towards these lows, then we could look for another long again in towards the highs. Personally, not really looking for shorts at these levels, though I would not be surprised if we do get a nice short-term opportunity very, very soon after taking out this internal high, the yearly open, and then maybe seeing a deeper retracement, though I don't like longing the yen at the moment as the yen is still very, very weak. So I would, let's say, prefer for it to head down lower, but there's no guarantee, obviously. Looking at this pair at the moment, longs are still the only thing that you can kind of like see. I'll be looking to see if we can push up towards this high over here, and once that high gets taken out, that would be a moment where I would be more convinced to take potentially a pullback trade. if we get there and see some bearish confirmation. For now on USDJPY, there's just not a lot of bearish confirmation. Besides the fact then that the 1 hour does look good in the sense that it, hey, liquidated here the early sellers, right? So you had two big bearish candles, a lot of people start selling. Here it liquidates the high and then the real sell-off happens. And now here you have some highs together with the yearly open. If that gets taken out, tap into the yearly open, you could get a short-term shorting your hands in towards the downside. But that is just for the people who like to be a little bit more aggressive. Personally, I'll just wait for longs again as yeah, we're still very, very bullish. And then, of course, we have gold. Now, on gold, looking for longs, guys, again. It's still very consolidative, but I'm still looking for longs, believe it or not. I highlighted a position on Friday that you could have taken pretty much from the lows here with the stop loss underneath this low here, looking for a new higher high. Still expecting this to head up higher following the overall immediate market structure. What's happened on gold now is that we've shifted structure here, break of the black line. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, it will maybe it'll be a little bit more clear. Where you break in towards the highs, you have an internal low here, we liquidate that, and now the real push in towards the upside could happen. You kind of also see it on the 1 hour time frame where you have an impulse up, and then you have a nice little pullback here, and then you liquidate that little pullback here, and then from now we could head up higher. So I'm only favoring further upside here on gold, as yeah, the fundamentals also align with gold longs. I'll update more on that as well inside Discord, but yeah, this looks good for longs still, and I'm not looking for shorts on gold at the moment. And that currently, yeah, keeps my interest. So looking for more upside on gold this day and this week. So that's it for today, guys. A bit of a shorter one, but if you have any questions, let me know, and see you soon.